Let the battle begin.
And that's going to be a 4-man mosh pit with the Ring of Frost connecting huge.
This is actually going to be the big showdown.
And that's a triple kill.
A huge flame strike going on to everybody. Here's the Riptire onto DiMaggio. DiMaggio's in trouble.
We might have a comeback for the ages.
It's very close. This boss is not even dead, but 65% of the core here. This could be game.
All right, everyone, welcome to the first ever NGS Tuesday Night Showdown pregame show. And tonight, for this evening's Showdown, we're going to have what's sure to be a 200 IQ match coming to us out of Division C West, with two teams battling it out for the top spot in the division. So, what do you say we get ready for some Heroes of the Storm? I'm, of course, your esteemed host, Turd Herder, and tonight we'll be bringing you an inside look into our featured matchup for this Tuesday night, with Rush B taking on Counterpick Stupid. As always, to help us do this, we are going to have two of our very skilled and very talented analysts. Covering Rush B will be our lead analyst, Arthanow, and covering Counterpick Stupid will be our faithful Mongoose. Without further ado, let's kick things off with an interview with Dominator, captain of Rush B. Take it away, Arthanow.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Night Showdown. I am your head analyst, Arthanow, and I am here with Dominator. How's it going, Dominator?
Hi, Arthanow. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I see you stole my profile picture, and I had to change pictures, and this is really frustrating to me. Why did you steal my identity, Dominator?
You know, it's an absolutely gorgeous picture. It combines the two things that I love most, cats and StarCraft.
Man, you are a man after my own heart, because I am a big fan of cats and StarCraft, as I had the same profile picture, but someone over here had to make me change it, and I am not salty whatsoever. But you know what? You're a man of good taste, so I will allow it. So, I'm looking over here, and you guys have the Tuesday Night Showdown against Counterpick Stupid. How are you feeling about the match?
We're actually really pumped for it. I've been talking about it with our team. After we got our last domination against that task, though, on Wednesday, it was like, okay, we're in it. We are tied with, all of the top 4 teams, and they all have games up on us. So we're the underdogs right now, and we have the potential to surpass every single one of them. And I think this is the first team out of, the top half of the division that we're going up against. So we're really excited to kind of stretch our legs here and really see how we compare up against everybody else.
That's exciting, especially now that we're winding down and starting to have playoff pictures coming in, and that positive seeding is all important. You wanna be one of the stronger teams in the seeding so you can put off the stronger teams for later.
Yeah, it definitely helps out getting a number 1 or 2 seed. You kind of get to coast in, the first week.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that Tassido match, and I see you guys playing Deckard both of the times. Why the Deckard pick? I know a lot of captains are kind of down on him right now because of the potion nerf, but I personally still like him, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that.
He's got a lot of good value as a hero. I understand why some people wouldn't, prioritize him, based on the recent nerfs, but I think he's still in a good spot. To be truthfully honest, though, we kind of split our healer roles up between 2 people, and depending on who's available, we'll say, okay, well, either Greenwall's going to be healing, or in this case, it was Arcane. He was our healer in the previous match, and he just happens to be a really good Deckard player. So
Deckard has a 16-second cooldown on his E. It's a 5-man stun, so that's a whole lot of utility. So I can see why you guys would like Deckard, and the gems and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, his gems are really strong. They each kind of have their own unique abilities, and you can kind of pick and choose each one to, adapt to whatever situation you're into. I really like the counter heal one, and I was watching one of Counterpick Stupid's, I'm just going to call him CCS, I was watching one of their previous matchups where I think an enemy team actually went that Emerald talent into them when they had drafted an Alex Straza.
Oh.
Totally turned the tides on them. And I think that was the one reason why they lost that game.
Yeah, and can't counterpick stupid's going to be a very fun opponent. They also actually have recently been running a lot of Deckard, so doing a little bit of scouting for you. No, this is going to be a really fun matchup. I've actually been looking forward to it because of the playoff implications. But more importantly, your name Rush B, is that a Counter-Strike reference? Do you prefer Dust 1, Dust 2? Where'd that come from?
It does originate from CSGO, for sure, but we always have this joke that we talk about whenever we would play together. We would usually go and play like on Battlefield of Eternity, and we just say, all right, we're going to go mid, Rush B, and we'd call it every time and just go straight for that middle wall. Completely stupid, and I wouldn't recommend that in professional play.
I'm also looking through here, and I'm seeing a couple Lee Ming picks, and Karazim. You guys, I think, are like one of 2 teams that have actually run Karazim. How do you guys feel about that? You guys won that game too, 10-1. It was actually a stomp, 10-minute game on Sky Temple.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with Karazim. Usually we try to hold him to specifically for counter picks, but he's a really strong, aggressive healer, and I think that's a really valuable asset to any team. Again, I wouldn't pick it every single time, but
sure.
If the enemy team has a bunch of squishies and you just want to go dive hard on them, throw Karazim in there. He'll wreck their face, and he's a healer. So,
there we go. Yeah, he's I don't think he's getting enough representation in NGS. I don't know if you saw Nexus Edge a week ago. Shameless plug. But
I did watch that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that particular week he was the only healer not picked. And he's consistently the only healer not picked. And a very healthy healer meta. It's not like he's even bad. So I really enjoy watching a team pick Karazim. So brownie points if you pick him tomorrow.
We have a couple ideas of what drafts we want to go through with tomorrow. I'm not going to say any of them, of course.
You don't want to give me any of the deets, the secrets?
Well, all right, I'll toss you this one, okay. All right? We were thinking of running main healer Murky.
you heard it here, folks. That's a unique strategy, and I don't know if I would ever see that coming.
Yeah, sorry, I just can't give away all of our secrets,
I don't blame you. I'm known to accidentally let a few secrets slip. All right, well, that's all the questions I have for today. So do you have any trash talk for Can't Counter Stupid you want to give? Oh man, talking is hard.
I agree. And I do have one thing to say. We might not be able to count... Fuck. Dude, their name throws me off every single time.
It's a tough name.
Can't counterpick stupid. Ugh, it's a tongue twister.
It sure is.
Alright, if I had one thing to say coming up to our match, I would say we might not be able to counterpick stupid, but we can certainly counterplay stupid.
Oh, I like that. That's some good trash talking right there. All right, so do you got any shout outs, any friendly shout outs to anyone you want to give out before I turn it over to Turd?
Yeah, just a shout out to everybody in the entire casting community. That I really want to stress how much I enjoy watching the production value between solo casters to the big time Thursday night showdowns. It's a really cool position to be in, and I just appreciate everything you guys do, and I think I speak for my entire team and probably everyone else in Division C saying.
Awesome. Well, I am really looking forward to the match. It should be a good one. We got B-Train and Mark Zombie casting it, so it's going to be a blast, assuming nothing changes from recording to the actual match. So this is going to be a fun one to watch, and I hope everyone tunes in.
Yeah, we're excited for it, so keep your eyes out. Make sure everybody watches this. It's going to be cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dominator. That's all I got for you. So this is Arthanol signing off. Have a great Tuesday night showdown, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Arthanol. Now let's send it on over to Mongoose for an interview with the captain of Can't Counterpick Stupid, Wits End. Over to you, Mongoose.
I am here with Wits End, team captain of Can't Counterpick Stupid. How are you doing tonight?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So I always like to start with give us a little background info on your guys quickly, where you came from, how you came to be, and
All right.
let's go from there.
Um, that's a good question. We started out as a few of us played on a different team before in open division and just messing around in different tournaments. Not really anything serious, and we never made it through a game or a round in the open division before. But then we just kind of stuck together, kept playing. Some of us are my brother's on the team, and I have a nephew who plays on the team as well. And then we just met a couple of guys online, and we've kind of stuck together for a couple of years now, really, at this point.
So last season, you guys just missed the playoffs in the Nexus Gaming Series. This season, you guys have had pretty smooth sailing toward the top of the division. Has there been a difference between the two? What's changed?
Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that a whole lot's changed. Just getting more familiar and just working more and more together. Um, our team is kind of like I was mentioning before. Our team is stuck together for a little bit now. We played a chair league season. We played NGS last season. We played a Heroes Lounge. We played a couple of tournaments here and there. And I think kind of getting a little more used to the format and maybe redefining roles a little bit on our team has helped a little. And then just working at it and plugging away.
Why don't you talk about how what this season has been like for you guys? You started strong. You're toward the top of the standings. What has your experience been like this season, NGS, and what has your journey been like so far as you head down the home stretch here?
I think a certain amount of it is luck. I mean we're working hard and playing hard, but some of it just comes down to getting lucky and getting that last team fight that seals the deal, or that type of thing. And so that's been a big, we've been kind of lucky this season. We've done really well. Um, we've also seen some teams that maybe don't have so much luck this season, but then we play them and they're maybe towards the bottom of the standings, but come out and are really tough teams. So, I think overall looking at the standings is a little misleading, and also because I think there's 9 teams in our division, right?
Yeah, 9
After
left.
so only one of those teams doesn't make the playoffs. Is that?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody's in it, whether I mean, as long as they don't finish last, like everybody's in it, and it doesn't matter what your record was. So we hope to continue to have the same kind of success that we have been having, and keep working together, um, working hard, and coming out on top, hopefully.
So your guys' opponents for the Showdown is Rush B. They're another team that's been around NGS for a couple seasons, and kind of another one of those veteran competitive teams that's been hanging around the scene. Have you guys had the opportunity to play them in the past?
I'm not certain. I don't think so. We may just have been in different divisions other seasons. I'm not certain. I know we were Division C last season here, and then we were Division 3 in Heroes Lounge. But I don't remember the name.
It,
Maybe I'd recognize some of the players' names if they changed name or something like that.
have you had a chance to watch any of their stuff? Have any opinions on how you guys match up, or the season they've had so far? If you've had any of those chances to watch those guys play?
I have watched them a little. I don't want to give away too
Of
much
course
though.
not.
No, I've watched them a little bit. I think in a lot of ways we've got some similar things that we do, similar maps that they run that we run, things like that. So I think it'll be really interesting because I mean we'll see what maps come up, but I kind of expect that the types of things that we like that are the types of things that they like. So it might come down to just who plays it better that day.
So that's a good segue into my next question. If you have a team like that maybe has a similar style to you, or likes to run the same kind of comps and the same kind of maps, and is maybe a little bit of a mirror, is that easier or harder to play against than a team that has like a different style that maybe you can exploit?
That's a good question. I think it kind of depends on if you think you're better at them than that or not. In some things, I think there's probably some places we might have an edge. Watching some of the replays that I've seen, and then there's some things where I think, oh man, if they do that, they're going to catch us. I mean, there's definitely things where looking at it, I see that it could go either way. It really could. I think they're a good team. From what I've seen, they hold on and they stay in games, even when they're down, and then they come back and win somehow. So, I expect it's going to be hard fought each map all the way to the end, and we'll kind of see what happens. I don't know that it would make it easier or harder. Maybe in some ways, if we like similar maps and we're familiar with those maps and we kind of see how they play it and it's like us, we tend to know our own weaknesses a little bit too. So hopefully that helps us, but I mean, it's going to help them too.
So last question, you guys are sitting toward the top of the standings. There's a number of teams that are really close. Counterpick Stupid, Ginormous Jaegers, Rush B, Dive Hard, all within a couple points of each other, with slightly different matches played.
Right.
But you guys are clearly going into the playoffs. You're probably going to be in the upper half of the bracket. Does anything change as you go down the stretch? Do you start keeping stuff closer to the vest to not show, or do you just go full bore and want to crush the top of those standings?
When we started the season, we saw, oh, there's only 9 teams and 8 of them make the playoffs. We don't have to show. We can just kind of play and we're gonna make it. That's how we started. And then we were getting lucky and getting wins, and now it's kind of like we don't want to lose. We want to win everything. We don't want to lose a match. We don't want to lose a map. As far as the match goes with Rush B, we'd love to go in and take 2 maps and not lose a single one. But ultimately, I think that's more for pride than it really matters for us in the playoffs. And in the end, it's just going to matter who wins in the playoffs. So we just got to get ready and plan things. There's certainly some things we're working on or we'll hold and we aren't going to use for a little bit, but we can still work on teamwork, working together, hitting our calls, being a lot more as a unit. Those things we're certainly working out and trying to work on and improve every time.
All right. Well, shout outs on your way out. Wits End, want to say hi, Mom, or anybody else out there you want to wave to?
Yeah, that's a CCS tradition. Have to say hi to Valk's mom, who happens to be my mom too. So it works out. So hi, Mom. And to the team, I'm really proud of our team this season. We've worked hard and we've added a few members that have been great as fill-ins here and there as schedules get hectic and crazy. And it's been a fun ride. However things end up, this has probably been one of our more enjoyable seasons. So hopefully we keep going. Hopefully we can keep things rolling and help build the Heroes community and keep teams coming.
All right, there it is. Wits End, can't counterpick stupid, a team to watch going down the stretch. Let's go back to the Showdown crew.
All right, everyone, that's all the time that me and the analysts are going to have for you tonight. I want to give a big thank you to all of our cast and crew for helping with tonight's production. I also want to thank you guys for tuning on in. Now, don't you go anywhere, because coming up right after this is the Tuesday Night Showdown. So what do you say we send it on over to our casters for tonight, B-Train and Mark Zombie himself, and get this match underway. See you next time on the pregame show, guys.
Let the battle begin.
And that's going to be a 4-man mosh pit with the Ring of Frost connecting huge.
This is actually going to be the big showdown.
And that's a triple kill.
A huge flame strike going on to everybody. Here's the Riptire onto DiMaggio. DiMaggio's in trouble.
We might have a comeback for the ages.
It's very close. This boss is not even dead, but 65% of the core here. This could be game.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's NGS Tuesday Night Showdown. Not Thursday, not Monday, not Wednesday, Tuesday, or also known as Bruise Day if it's between the hours of 5 and 7. I will be your host tonight, B-Train, and joined, we have Mark Zombie. What's up, my man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, B-Train? Glad to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited. This looks like it's going to be a pretty spicy series we got going on between these two teams.
Yeah, these teams are sitting at the top of their respective division, which I believe is Division C West. We already have the map picks and bans done out, so I'm going to throw those up on stream for everyone so they can take a look at it. But looking at these, we had the bans on the Dragonshire and Towers of Doom. And I need to make
it looks like Rush B was banning out Dragonshire there, and then Can't Counterpick Stupid taking out Towers of Doom.
Yeah, both of those maps are kind of weird. So Towers of Doom plays always like it did back in the old day. And when I say that, I mean that any single one of those maps, if you get to the late game, you can throw super easily. So
yeah,
maybe if teams want to make sure that they have control over the entire game, that's obviously a ban you can do. And also, if your team kind of has trouble with rotations and macro, I could see banning out Dragonshire. It's one of those maps that once you get behind and, other people have the roundabout on you, it can cause lots of problems.
Yeah, I think Dragonshire is one that definitely requires not only strong shot calling, but also just a lot of communication between the whole team, kind of making sure that top lane, mid lane, and bottom lane are evenly balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have everybody in the lobby, so we're kind of getting everything loaded up here.
Yeah, and the first match here is going to be on Volskaya, and then who is in picking that for us?
This is the pick of Rush B. So
okay.
The first pick should be for Can't Counterpick Stupid. And I also have a bunch of interesting facts that I can deliver to everybody within this game. Once we get into the draft, we'll start talking about it. Want to make sure the lobbies are set up. But as far as Volskaya Foundry, what are your thoughts and opinions on this map? What's the most important thing you want to see out of these teams here?
Yeah, I mean, I want to obviously those items are should be very heavily prioritized. I think that's kind of a pretty common strategy, is taking control over those turrets, those heal pulses, making sure you're on time with those. Even in the first objective, you can sometimes kind of squeak out two turrets of your own side. So, and then yeah, I guess a strong solo laner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the turrets, though, not the turrets, but just the item camps are the most important. I emphasize all the time whenever I watch teams, whenever I cast teams, you want to take that turret on your safe side at the 1 minute mark. You want to have two people sitting there with their hands in their pockets waiting on it to spawn. That way you can have a second one while that first point is actually going on. So whenever you have that, you have that first little skirmish, when everybody backs away to lick their wounds, tap or whatnot,
go blast that turret.
You go blast that second turret out, and you come back in, load it up like a Somalian warlord, and start putting down the weapons on people. So that's probably one of the most important things I want to see out of these teams in the early game.
Yeah, I'd say heroes like Jaina, with fast clear on that, especially after level 4 when she gets the piercing. She can make quick work of those. And then yeah, I think just given the nature of this objective, would kind of almost forces the teams to clump up a little bit. So could see maybe some Gul'dan perhaps coming out. I don't know.
Gul'dan, you're after my own heart as a Gul'dan main and a random destruction advocate for my entire Heroes of the Storm career since his release.
I would love to see some Ghoul Daniel.
Yeah, and those treadmills, you pop Rain of Destruction, stand on the treadmill, you're good to go, you're moving, you're getting out of there
It's
safely.
amazing. It's like Amazon Prime. You just deliver damage right at the doorstep of the enemy team. And Rain of Destruction, impeccable damage, fantastic ult, way better than Horrify if you ask me. I hope we see it. I doubt we will. A lot of people don't know about its hidden potential.
So we do have confirmation here. One of the teams is ready, so we'll probably be stepping into this first best of 3 series in just a moment.
Yeah, and we have tonight some special guests. As always, we have our A-game observer, Philindrith. If you were here for the first Thursday Night Showdown I did, he was also there, but I was unable to lock into the observer cam, so it was kind of a feels bad moment. But tonight, hopefully it's going to work, and we're also joined with one of our analysts, Satat, is also here. Satat, what do you got for the people?
Hey you guys, how's it going? Glad to be here, glad to watch this full sky map, and just reiterating what you guys says, point control on these maps along with camps are very important, so I'll see you with the comps they draft to work around those.
Absolutely.
And here we go, Volskaya.
Volskaya. I think one of 3 things. I think point, control, and then I put them together and I get point control. So that's the name of the game, I think, here. And along with that, I think one of the other things that a lot of people forget to think about is if you lose a protector. I've seen a couple teams go with these all-in like dive comps. You have, your longest range hero could be a Tychus or a Greymane, which is not a lot of range. And I think a lot of teams need to make sure that you keep in mind if you lose the first protector or the second one even, what is your methods of defense? Do you have the range to deal with it, or are you just going to be unable to stop that monster? So we'll see what these teams choose to capitalize on in the draft.
Yeah, it definitely brings out a lot of sieging potential, being able to disable structures, and then also team fights like a truck. So quite a strong objective there, and especially like if you can kind of run that right rotation where you take the first objective up to top lane, get the Moonwell. It can kind of snowball a little bit.
Yeah, and the first band coming out, we see Sylvanas now in the ETC band. So this is what I wanted to talk about. When we watch Division S versus like the Division C, Division D, you notice a kind of a pattern. In the higher divisions, there's typically bands that are more tailored around just heroes that are powerful within the meta. And then when you get to divisions that are a little bit lower, where people kind of stray from the meta way more often, you see a lot of these very targeted bands coming out. And Sylvanas, Stitches, and ETC to me all seem like targeted bands at the opponents.
Yeah. I think Sylvanas is a little bit of a sleeper right now. We've definitely seen her like on the up and up, but yes, as far as ETC Stitches goes, those kind of throw me off guard. So yeah, definitely maybe a targeted ban there.
Stukov as well. Stukov actually had an extremely high win rate throughout the early season here for NGS, and with those bans out of the way, before we delve into this only what I can assume to be a spicy draft, I want to talk about some interesting facts for some of the players here. I have word from an unknown source. I work at TMZ, so I've got all the inside scoops. And Wits End, the captain, I believe, or is one of the captains. I know they had like 3 listed on the list. I don't want to get anybody's title wrong, but Wits End is a championship ballroom dancer. Did you know that?
Well, I didn't know until you mentioned it to me in the pregame show, but I would hope to see some pure ways and some finesse coming out from him. We do see Johanna getting picked up for CCS, and then Anubarak and Asmodan to follow from Rush B.
Yeah, Rush B rushing straight into engage and stacking potential with Asmodan and the ETC. And when I look at this draft already, one of the things I'm extremely excited to see is the tank matchups. Tank play is always one of the, oh my sweet lord.
There it is, B-Train. We got it. Gul'dan coming in the mix. Reign of Memes. It might be not just a dream. And then Deckard coming out. Little, what are your thoughts on Deckard? Is he the hero that you see especially common in your division or with your casting?
So, addressing the target on the Reign of Destruction, I'm going to say you flip those around really quick. It's Reign of Dreams. Not quite Reign of Memes. But as far as Deckard goes, we know, I've heard and I've had discussions with Wits End about their Deckard, and Wits End loves the hero, absolutely, through and through. And we've talked a lot about some theory crafted, like, you know, hyper carry Deckard Kane builds. I fully don't expect that we see it.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
as
I
far
can
as
see his
Deckard Kane,
potential. Yeah, this map and the point control, like those, you know, his little Dorito, his Herodric Dorito there, covers a fair amount of that objective. So I can see getting some pretty big value off of that. And then, yeah, catching up with the draft here, things are getting pretty spicy as we see Tyrael and Lieutenant Morales coming out.
is this
for Rush B?
what I think it is?
A judgment?
No.
Or
Juice Pirates.
This is Juice Pirates. This reeks of Juice Pirates. Somebody just went into the backyard of their house. It's a summer day. It's mid-July. The weather outside is extremely hot. You say to your mom, "Hey mom, where's the sugar? Where's the tea? You know, or where's the Kool-Aid?" And you get some of that bug juice out. You put it in that big giant jug. And they just brought the whole thing outside right now. If this Morales Tyrael, and I've seen it, think about it. Asmodean and Anubarak both spawn beetles or minions, and people can it takes the tower shots away, so that buys you so much time.
Yep.
You have to get a Rainer agreement here, though, for sure.
Yeah, you have to have a
something
siege
to race those structures down, because like the medevac plays into the sanctification, and then just kind of trying to cheese those structures out. And in a Zebo,
we have our first odd comps of the day. We have no assassin for Rush B. They might just be rushing the core for all we know. And on the other side, a Lunara and a Kerrigan. Their comps kind of bits and pieces. They have the Lunara and the Gul'dan and the Johanna and Deckard, who just kind of want to sit back and play the poke game, and they want to just throw loads of damage out. And then they have a Kerrigan who's going to be trying to dive, which seems to me like kind of some counter synergy. But these teams drafted it, so
absolutely.
by all means, this is their comp that they want to run. And
it at least feels like both teams got what they wanted here. And yeah, like you're saying, definitely some off meta picks, but they each have their own strategies in mind. So this should be an interesting one.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to say the least. And so Todd, what do you think about some of these drafts? Did any of these heroes like stick out as maybe some comfort picks outside of the Deckard?
Yeah. So I mean, I like Anubarak and Johanna, normal total meta picks. Like those are tanks. People play those. Medic has been seeing a lot more action lately, which is fine. And I thought, like you said, they were going to go Juice Pirates with their picks early on. But seeing the Nazebo means their Juice Pirates strategy shouldn't work because they don't have enough burn to burn the structure down in time. And the Deckard can kind of counteract it if he goes lands a good Lornado or a sleep. So we'll see if that kind of strategy can pull in. But I think Counterpick Stupid has just a little bit better draft in this one.
Absolutely. Introducing these teams on the left for Rush B, we have, I'm going to butcher these names, we have Great Patu on the Asmo Donger, Arcane on the Tyrael, Greenwall on the Morales, Fatlock 33 on the Anubarak, and in the bottom lane on the Zebo, we have Dominator.
Yeah, meanwhile, over on the right-hand side for Can't Counterpick Stupid, we've got Witsend playing the Deckard Kane, Osprey on the Lunara, RTB on that Kerrigan, Keladorn on the Gul'dan, and Val Kelmer on Johanna.
And in this bottom lane, we already have kind of a good old-fashioned Texican standoff with these teams, just chilling out down here. You have a lot of siege potential, but with Gul'dan middle, he should be able to grab that wave clear, and Zebo is going to be able to kind of stall out this lane, hopefully, and just start stacking, because that's what you really need from your Nazebo and your Asmodean here if you are Rush B.
It looks like Rush B is opting kind of for a mid-top, clear out the waves, move back and forth. They do have that Asmo to stack up, do a lot of siege damage.
And
CCS moving in.
Looking at these rotations early, as the camps are spawning at this 1 minute mark, so I want to see if these teams step up. I think that right now for Rush B, I'd like to see them switch the Tyrael and the Nazebo, because Tyrael doesn't have the same wave clear. You can put him in the bottom lane because there's no true solo laner for Can't Counterpick Stupid. It'll be Lunara or Kerrigan, but either way, no one's going to win the matchup versus Lunara here. And I think if you put the Nas with the Asmodean, they can stack together. They can be brothers in stackage. And I think that's just going to be the most efficient way to use that.
Yeah, playing for the late game a little bit, which I think on Volskaya is not too bad of an option. And then meanwhile, CCS getting their camp, but maybe delaying the cap. Oh, no, gonna go back and grab it now. RTB holding down to that first turret. And yeah, I'd love to see Rush B make a move towards their own turret. But hold on here, B-Train. We might have an invade situation.
And invade is the name of the game when you have a Kerrigan. She's one of those, I like to call them win harder heroes. There's heroes that basically, they're built like a forehead. And all they want to do is just batter through walls the entire game. And, you know, when I think of those heroes, I think Butcher, Kerrigan, Sonya, those heroes that when you are aggressive and you're up in level and you have the momentum in the game, they're just the best heroes to continue just running it down with, basically. So I think if you're playing with a Kerrigan composition, you really want to take advantage of your early game potential to get kills and really throw your opponent into kind of a defensive stance.
Yeah, her combo just with her base kit there is just so strong, so she doesn't really need kind of talents to make it to enable it. And speaking of talents here, does anything kind of jump out? We are seeing some the grenade talents stacking from Morales here, and a Toads for Nazeebo at level 1.
Yeah, I saw the Toad talent come online, and I'm actually super pumped to see it. I think Volskaya is one of the few maps where I completely envy Toads over all else. They just have so much splash damage, and if you think about right now, their composition, they have an Azmodan and a Nazeebo. They can just chunk damage out on the entire enemy team. Whereas, you know, a composition with a Kerrigan, they're looking to combo maybe 1 or 2 people. Azmodan and Nazeebo can just clean house versus all 5 on that point. So I think that'll be the most important thing to watch, is if Naz can get that stacked up and the Azmodan can stack hard early, they could have so much control over this late game. But, you know, on the other side, you have a Gul'dan, and we all know how fantastic Gul'dan's damage is post-16 with Ruinous Corruption.
And meanwhile, we do see Rush B hitting this 50% point on the objective, but CCS is going to be coming in with the heal pulse, and here they go, moving in. Kerrigan combo goes out, doesn't connect.
And right now, we have an item advantage for CCS, and they have the camp pushing in the top lane for them as well. So even though level 7s, which are basically around the corner as they're about to lock in, even though the advantage is for Rush B, I think this actually favors CCS extremely.
And Stopwell comes out from Johanna. Both teams kind of holding on to their items here. Point is contested, not ticking up on any team's favor. Big Dorito comes out, connects with 2 players. Numberrock burrows in.
Gets hit by the Nozwall. A little bit of counter synergies. Kerrigan's going to get the big 2-man combo, the pull, and the stun onto Greenwall. And Foullock is the Gul'dan corruption damage. Throwing out them little purple frisbees, getting so much damage in. And Greenwall with the Caduceus reactor doesn't have enough healing to survive. And that is going to be first blood in this game at 4.5 minutes for CCS, who now have a firm grasp on that first protector point.
Now they're going to be moving back, grabbing another turret from their side. Advantage of clearing that out early. It's already ready to go again. And Rush B might have another pass at this. And they do have a little bit of time. Morales is just coming online right now. They're going to be grabbing a turret of their own.
One thing will be interesting to see if Medic goes EMP Grenade at 13, because it shuts down Kerrigan, Deckard Cain's potions, and Johanna's shield. Totally wipes them out with the extra damage on EMP Grenade.
Oh, that's a very good point indeed.
That's actually a fantastic point. And I think with that being the thing to watch, Johanna actually, Valkyrie taking lots of damage, going to get the condemn onto 2, and we see Deckard's Frito Doritos coming out there, as you like to call them. I've never heard Doritos, so that's actually a pretty fantastic name I'm going to steal. But the first protector is here, and CCS looking to kind of put their foot down with this first protector, looking to get some work done.
Yeah, typically here we see teams kind of trying to grab that top wall and then maybe rotating up, or sorry, the middle wall, then rotating top to get that Moonwell to lead objective off with a nice advantage. So that is going to be the play here. Going straight for that Moonwell, it looks like. 10s are just around the corner for both of these teams here.
Kerrigan matched up against Naz in the bottom lane, which leaves this protector to pretty much get whatever work done it needs. Naz not going to really stack against the protector, but is going to have the advantage against RTB in this bottom lane. Those Toads are going to stack up, do lots of damage, and Naz is already sitting at about 70 on that baseline quest. So looking to get to 175, that magic number.
Protector's phase just about over here. They almost secured that bottom. Yeah, meanwhile, Asmodeen's sitting at 114 stacks, so he's getting pretty close to that first quest there.
Yeah, the first quest mark is at 200, and then again at 400 for Pride at the late game stages. Gul'dan also was in that protector, so unfortunately unable to stack for a pretty decent window as we have ultimates online, and most of them locked in as
Dominator getting blown
Zebo.
up.
Ooh, that's a B
And
step.
some B steps from RTB.
RT B step.
Kerrigan.
That's kind of a message that I want to see teams sending more often. Lots of people view B-stepping and spraying as a kind of sometimes unsportsmanlike conduct, but I think that's what makes the games great. As I wanted to talk about some of these ults that we have, and locked in, we have the Cocoon from a Nubarak, Medevac Dropship, Sanctification, Demonic Invasion, and Gargantuan. This is a backdoor comp. I'm calling it now.
Absolutely. So many summons, absorbing those tower, absorbing any damage the structures are going to put out there. Sanctification just really stay in, but like our analyst mentioned here, they don't have that race. Uh-oh, meanwhile, Gul'dan's in a rough spot. He gets Burrow Charge in, the stub comes out, it's going to connect, and he might just fall here. And Rush B picks up a kill. One for nothing trade.
Demonic Army coming down, looking to soak those tower shots, as well as the Nubarak's own ability as they get the Cocoon onto Johanna. They're looking to immediately secure this top fort, which with the new XP changes that have been implemented for, I know I say new, but months now, that's passive XP and catapult pressure in that lane. And if they survive this B point as they continue pushing onward, if this goes to that point C in the bottom lane, as Gargantuan will continue to tank shots with the Anubarak, and they also have a turret to do the same. This top lane pressure will be instrumental in their ability to stall in the late game as Medevac comes out and everybody looks like they're going to run home.
Zipping on out of here to middle lane, walking away with a fort. Looking pretty good there. No objective, just some nice positioning. They got that gank, they pressed their advantage, and they took out a full fort here. Meanwhile, CCS still holding on. They've got, was that 3 turrets and a heal pulse, so a little item advantage, but it doesn't matter as Rush B moves into the middle lane looking to bring the cheese and destroy these structures with all of their summons.
The name of the game is Snatch Yo Lane like a chain, all right? They're down here running it down, and my thing is, with Gul'dan and Kerrigan and Lunara at this point, you can't race against a Nazebo and a Asmodeen. I just don't think it works like that, especially with Sanctification. You know, when you run out of a minion wave as can't counterpick stupid, whereas Rush B will never run out of minions. They will just sit here and just eat shots all day.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting trade going on here as CCS is opting to take out that top 4. They're pushing in the top. I like this play from them. They have that double camp going and then also going to the second objective, but is it worth a keep here, B-Train?
You say keep, I'm calling game. They have Sanctification, and if they notice that nobody gets back here soon enough, they could actually pull the trigger on this game. It doesn't look like they're going to, but if you have Sanctification, every time that someone is hiding on the map for Rush B, there is threat of a backdoor. Sanctification is that tool to just end it.
It looks like they're going to hold on to the medevac and just kind of, some players are backing here, going to clear out that top pressure. Meanwhile, Anubarak up, kind of scouting for his team, poking his head in there. They're going to be trying to contest this.
If we see this game get a little bit more awkward, if it goes full NA on us, I'm lactose intolerant, so it might start to smell in here with all this cheese, but I'm fully expecting it. And I think if you're Rush B, you don't fight. I don't think they have the capabilities to team fight with their chosen ultimates. Like, sure, you have Cocoon and Garg, which is decent, but we see it out. The medevac, the point is on the core. It's going straight to the core. They have Gargantuan. Don't burn Sanctification immediately. The key to winning this is you have to save Sanctification until the possible last minute. And everybody's going to have to back. The shields are already getting nuked off the core as the Nubrak is going to zone the Kerrigan. He's going to get the stun onto the Gul'dan, dropping the turret. Sanctification comes out. They're not going to have the ultimate. Asmodeen actually gets feared out of Sanctification. Demon Army has been used as well as Gargantuan. The core is falling to below 30%, and it's getting even lower, and it looks like the cheese completes the win here in game number 1. Rush B, rushing core, GG.
11 minutes in. Oh, someone's at my door. Hold on. 5 cheese pizza delivered to my house?
It's not delivery. It's Rush B.
Just like that, B-Train. The first game is over before you know it. 1 kill to 2.
All right, Satat. Wow. I'm going to need an analytical review on this stat.
So, yeah, here's what happened. So Rush B totally cheese. We called it, and they're going to do a cheese strat. They're going to do the Juice Pirates, which worked greatly for them. Counterpick Stupid made the mistake of trading. You don't trade when you have a comp like that that's
Absolutely.
doing backdoor stuff. If you trade fort for fort, keep for keep, you lose because then now you're opening the core like we saw there. You have to, and it sucks, but you have to go defend that. And what you do is you go defend, you get kills because they've used all their abilities on the structure, and then you push with that advantage, and then you do the same thing because they're going to get structures, but you have to get kills off it. Trading is the way you lose that game, and that's what happened. Counterpick Stupid traded, and Rush B just took that to their advantage and took out the core.
Initially we were kind of worried about them lacking the siege damage to pull it off when they secured that Nazebo for their last pick, but it seems like just between the Gargantuan, between the Asmodin, it was enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into this next game, it'll be interesting to see how the draft unfolds now that the opposing team is kind of aware of that strategy and see where we're going to be going here. Because I feel like that's not going to necessarily work on every map.
The big thing that's also happening there is, so like you said, is that we didn't think they'd have enough siege. What their comp lacked is defense. If someone came, like if they came and attacked, Counterpick Stupid came and attacked Rush B, they would have killed them because they don't have an auto attacker to kind of fight them off. Whereas in this scenario, they didn't ever fight them off, so Nazebo got so much value, like you said, with the Gargantuan, Asmodan, spawning minions, keeping the structures under control. So the idea with having the auto attacker with the Juice Pirates comp is that you can, when they come in to stop you, you can continue punishing the core. You can continue killing people in those situations. Where as this, they never came and attacked them, so they just got free reign.
And
that
it
was
looks
definitely
like
my first time kind of seeing that strategy come online in NGS here, and wow, it looked pretty damn strong. They've made a good showing for it.
so. I alluded to it, I believe, in the last Division S game that I casted. We saw a cheese strat involving a Zagara and a Medivh and a Tyrael. And so, with that being said, I look at comps like this. I look at cheese, and there's two ways to think about it, right? If they got cheesed in game one, if they got juice pirated, they're thinking right now, okay, they got us, ha ha ha. And now you think, okay, one of two things. They're either brave enough to do it again, or surely they don't do it again. So I think now you have that thought in the back of your mind, like, what if they just do it again? And that's going to put a lot of onus on CCS to try to keep their composure here.
Yeah, and if you were gonna kind of target ban one point of that strategy, I'm kind of leaning towards is really the Morales, the medevac makes that all come online. Is it worth kind of soaking one ban up to take out Morales?
So I actually think the Tyrael is more important, because sanctification is what makes that work. Because okay, if you get rid of Morales, what's there? Medivh. It's not as effective. It's not global,
Right?
But it fills the same role essentially. But if you get rid of the Tyrael and you have no sanctification, that instead of getting it on one try, it takes you 2 or 3 depending on how you handle your cooldowns.
So in their situation, I think the in that one, Morales would have been the better ban because they can spawn the minions. So sanctification wasn't as important and they didn't counteract. But I do agree that sanctification is normally the key with that strat. But in the scenario we just saw, it didn't matter because they never came back to engage
Yeah, it seemed
them.
a little overkill at that point, but I'm definitely tracking. And so, which just kind of backing up there, which team was choosing that map again?
That was the map choice of Rush B. And game
Okay.
2, we are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, chosen by CCS. And we'll see if they want to implement their style, if they want to put their stamp on this game. Tomb is one of those maps where Juice Pirates can surely work, but the rotations between all the lanes are small, and your ability to rotate around is much quicker. So I think for this part, they're going to have to play the game straight up if you're Rush B, but you're up 1-0, so right now, the load is not on your shoulders. It's on the shoulders of CCS to execute this game and really show that they are, the team in charge. And I feel like this is kind of a do or die map for them. Even if they win it, and if they look kind of thrown off their game, if their draft is very responsive, that could possibly spell disaster if game 3 is forced and we see another round of cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should point out here that CCS is currently on top of their division, which is C West here. They're sitting with 15 points, but not far behind. We do have 3 teams tied up with 13 points, and Rush B is one of them. So these are 2 teams at the top of their division. So I think at this point with these players, we've kind of had a little bit of background. They've both been around for a few seasons now, so I would say they're definitely kind of accustomed to getting cheesed. And let's see if they can keep it together in this second game on Spider Queen.
Yeah, and I think if you're, obviously these two teams are at the top of their division, so there's one of two ways they can look at it. Surely this is no HGC. There's not crazy amounts of money on the line, but there's bragging rights within divisions, and I know every division has their own competitions within it. But I think if I'm a top team, and I think Rush B is ahead in the standings, correct?
No.
It's CCS.
CCS is yes. CCS is sitting with 15 points. Rush B in second, tied with 2 other teams with 13.
Okay, so I think even if you're second or tied for whatever, if you're in the playoffs and you have the confidence to say, let's just go into playoffs and let's try to not reveal what we're seriously working on, I think you can just cheese these games out and try to hide some of the more serious things that you've been practicing. And for a team that's already up 1-0 with that mentality, possibly, that's fantastic because that puts them right where they want to be. Because now they can expand here. They have a game that they can drop, and it doesn't hurt them too badly, unless they're just vying for that first slot. And then, by all means, this is a must-win for them, being in second place with the standings so close.
Right.
But I was upset. There was no Reign of Destruction. I'm gonna have to have a talk. I believe that was Celadorn. We're gonna talk after this game, Celadorn, and I'm gonna have to enlighten you.
There might still be a hope here for the Reign of Dreams. Going into Spider Queen, I'd say it's definitely a map that favors very heavy lane clear. Basically, the name of the game is kill the minions, get those gems, move on, keep good pressure between, keep good vision on those top and bottom turn-ins, and kind of do a little bit of goaltending. So I think Gul'dan could get picked up again here. I'd say he's pretty strong pickup on this map.
One of the other heroes I see kind of resurface from time to time on Tomb of the Spider Queen is Ragnaros. Basically, Tomb of the Spider Queen is, I'll put it this way, if you have exponentially more wave clear than your opponent, they can never end the game. Without picks, they will never end the game. As we're getting into our draft in Game 2, it's Tomb of the Spider Queen.
And personally, B-Train, I would love to see a little bit of the Fire Lord Ragnaros here as a vanilla WoW player myself, having rated him. I'm a little bit partial to Rag. I'm kind of I don't see him come out too often. I don't think he's in the greatest place right now, but definitely, like you're saying, with his Molten Core ability on this map, those forts are so close together. There's a lot of fights bound to happen around those. So I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful, wishful, and it's amazing to just watch Firewave bowl down a lane and just mow down minions. Sure, you don't get the gems, you get the XP. So one Firewave basically equivalates to a 47 level lead. It's pretty insane. I might have to pinch those numbers a little bit. But we see a Stukov ban out for Tomb here.
So we see it in the chat here. All right, time for Juice Round 2 coming out. So we've got some people believing in the juice, thinking it can work more than once in a row. But yes, Stukov getting banned out again. We did see that by Rush B in the first round here.
Yeah, and a little actual fun fact for Rush B, our cheese team, as Sylvanas is banned against them yet again. I have a quote from another inside source. Shout out to TMZ for hooking me up with this one. Apparently, they roll a d4 to determine their macro decisions. The shot caller has said, to heck with this, and now they just roll a die, and that pretty much says, we're doing bruisers, we're invading, we're rotating, we're just running it down. Quite an interesting strategy. It seemed to work out pretty well last game.
And oh, there it is. Don't let your dreams be memes. Gul'dan, he's taken out of here. Not going to let him have it. I kind of like that ban. I think he's definitely a very strong mage here. well, I feel like a lot of teams can really benefit from just killing those lane minions as soon as possible and moving on, almost ignoring enemies and just favoring killing the minions and getting on with it. And there it is, Lieutenant Morales getting banned out. Afraid of that. Maybe CCS also a little lactose intolerant.
And the worst part about banning the Morales here is that Medivh, this is probably one of the few maps that is very easy to use Medivh in place of Morales, because it's got tiny lanes. It's got lots of nooks and crannies you can hide in and circumvent vision.
Absolutely.
So they could actually still do it, but they do pick the Johanna, which to me already smells a little too normal. As did these teams switch sides?
Asmo Dunk getting stolen away. Can't counterpick stupid, will counterpick the Asmo, and they're securing a Nubarak as well.
They actually just flipped, because Anub and Asmo were the first picks of Rush B, and Johanna was the first pick for CCS. These teams have apparently got an internal beef going on, and they're saying that they'll pick each other's heroes for them one game, and then maybe just flip it on the next. But Ariel is here, and Kael'thas.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I feel like there's a lot of mind games going on at this point. These teams have been around for a while. They've surely studied each other, done some scouting, and then in that first series, a cheese strategy, not the easiest to repeat, especially against an experienced team. So that's why these best of threes are always a pleasure to watch and cast. And Ariel Kael'thas getting picked up.
And the Vala ban instantly. Anubarak very much dislikes auto attackers, and I think right now this can go one of two ways, right? You can either continue picking a somewhat normal draft, you can take an auto attacker and a bruiser, or you can bring out the chaos in the form of the two-headed ogre we all love, Cho'Gall.
Cho is my highest level hero right now in this game, so I would absolutely love to see it. I think Spider Queen could be a decent map for him. It is very much a small map, so not much distance you need to travel to get between those lanes, and that's really something Cho'Gall needs to perform, being down one body. And then Lunara getting banned out from the side of Rush B.
Lunara is actually an interesting ban. She's a pretty phenomenal hero, if you ask me. She's extremely hard to lane against. She does impeccable early game spread damage once 7 comes online with Splintered Spear. And then in the late game, she does even more damage with that unfair advantage and the stacking toxins at 20. She also has Abolish Magic to basically remove CC. And she has a spell shield on the same talent tier, so she's more resilient. And this is going to be a shout out to one of my buddies who played a Junkrat a couple weeks ago and proceeded to get pyroblasted on actual cooldown. Lunara can survive that.
We saw CCS running Lunara in the previous game as well, so it could be just kind of a safe pick there, something they know they'd favor. But Raynor and Ana gets picked up from CCS on the red side, and then Maiev and Blaze will round off Rush B's comp.
I'm interested to see how the Maiev plays out. So far, Anubarak's going to be the only person really who should be within range. So a lot of onus on Maiev to get those combos off with 3 ranged heroes in the 4-man. And with the drafts shown to everybody, Satat, what's the inside scoop on some of these picks?
So these are actually probably the most meta I've seen from Div C and ever, so that's cool. We have a Nubarak, very meta, Johanna good. Ariel with KT's fine. Ariel's not a super high pick right now, but still it's an okay healer. Ana kind of does counter Ariel, and we'll see that grenade land. If you're really good timing with the Ana, you can counter Ariel and what her healing's doing. Maiev is probably a first pick always in Div S, and is either banned or picked every time. And Imperius 2 is being a really high pick right now just because his percent damage is nuts. He can shred any tank off lane, main lane. And if he takes percent damage at 1, you'll see Imperius probably top the damage chart for a long period of time. So I definitely like the draft coming out of Counterpick Stupid, but Rush B, they're tricks up their sleeve. I don't know what they're going to do, so who knows? So we might see Resurrect Maiev running around killing everybody at this point. I don't know. So I'll give the draft to Counterpick Stupid again, but Rush B is not disappointed. So.
Very well. And I believe Eye of Horus is playable yet again. So that could also be something to watch out for here in game number 3.
The best of 3 series here. This is Division C West.
And starting on the right-hand side of this game for CCS, we have RTB on the Jimmy, Valkymer, as we are kind of in the middle of nowhere. Valkymer on the Beetle, Wits End on the Ana, Keladorn on the Asmodonger, and lastly but not leastly, Osprey on the Imperius.
On the blue side here, we have Rush B with Fatlock 333 playing the Dominator playing Maiev, excuse me. A Grape Putu on Kel'Thas, Green Wall 12 on Ariel, and Arcane on the Blaze.
And looking at these talents for level 1s, we have the Tether quest coming out from Maiev, and that's something I want to see if they can get it stacked up as RTB taking lots of damage. The huge stun from the Blaze Mobile. Someone call a doctor. Jimmy needs help. No amount of stim can keep that little Marine ticking as first blood goes over in about 20 seconds into this match for Rush B, and they're not done. Wits End has met his fate. That is 2-0 in favor of the team in blue.
Yeah, Rush B coming out swinging and showing they can bring more than just cheese as they move in for another kill, but a Numbrock does burrow away. Maev's spooky ghost will scare him off for now. And kind of going over talent pickups here, Legion of Beetles coming out from a nub, which is a little bit interesting, looking to get more Beetles on the field and possibly interrupt some of the spells coming out. Maybe I guess the Gravity Lapse is coming up from Kel'Thas.
We have Arcane in the bot lane with that Imperius. It's going to be a pretty upsetty spaghetti lane for Blaze, who's just dancing away in the bush. And we see that percent damage level 1 on Osprey. So that's going to be a very rough time down here for the Blaze, as it looks like there's a turn-in attempt going up there in the top lane as Rush B continues to put lots of pressure on these turn-ins and on these lanes.
Yeah, we do see both teams right around the same gem count, but Rush B securing that early turn and getting 19 off the board and still collecting more.
And we are
4 is coming online.
And that's actually something I was just about to say, as we have one of my personal favorites on Kel'Thas. Not a lot of people take it. They take the range. But Energy Royal is a fantastic talent. I cannot express my love for this talent enough. You reduce the cost of Grav Lapse, which the other talent does it, but only if you land it. Sure, the increased range makes you land it easier, but this one is guaranteed reducing the cost. And if the Grav Lapse hits a hero, it reduces the cooldown by 9 seconds as we see the big condemn combo on it, 2 in the blind immediately coming out as Anoob's going to get whipped into the wall, hit by the autos from Vala. The tether is going to be enough with the auto. Maiev sealing the deal. Dominator dominating in the top lane as the Beetle is exterminated.
We're picking up 4 kills right now to nothing. This is looking pretty good here for Rush B, showing that they can bring more than just cheese. There's some meat on that pizza here, B-Train. There's some veggies on there.
Yeah, and when we talk about meat, cheese, and everything else in between, I think about a lot of fresh meat in my quick match games, and right now, if you had a butcher, you're getting really stacked. Unfortunately, he's not here, as we see Osprey denying the turn-in from Arcane. Johanna is also going to try to stall that, but this tank wet noodle fight in the bot lane will pretty much continue forever.
Yep, that's definitely a very important thing on Spider Queen here. It's all about the goaltending, as I like to call it, just keeping vision on those points and interrupting the turn-in as the blue team is above the required gem amount. Might be looking to pick up level 7s here in just a moment, which maybe can squeak them in that first objective. And Counterpick Stupid has to kind of rethink their game plan here and tighten up some rotations.
Yeah, and I look at their comp, and they don't have the same amount of wave clear. As good stall by Wits End there, as RTB taking a phase full of flame, put him in the oven, and try to cook him until he's well done. Kel'Thas putting out lots of damage. But, you know, talking about wave clear, the wave clear highly favors Rush B here. So, you know, obviously Asmodon has to stack, and once he gets stacked, he is an absolute unit. But, you know, only sitting at 75 so far. If a turn-in is captured against CCS, they're going to have a much harder time defending it than Rush B will.
And level 7's just about to come online for the red team here. They still have a little poke war going on. Both teams have amassed enough gems to get that first Web Weaver phase. But we might not see it picked up until level 10 here.
And we see Raynor going into the Behemoth armor as they're going to get the body blocks out from Dominator on the Maiev, getting the 2-man tether onto RTB. Lots of damage and healing, anti-healing coming out from the Ana. Ultimately, RTB does walk away. And I wanted to highlight that level 4, an interesting pick into a Johanna. If you're looking to get those empowered attacks at every 4th auto from Raynor, there's 4th or 3rd, we'll give him a stack as long as he hits a hero. But against a blind, that could be kind of counterproductive. And there's a couple other talents on that level that can increase the cooldown reduction of your heal, and I believe one for armor, as more gems are turned in for Rush B.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Johanna leaning into those blind talents here, possibly looking to really just disable that Raynor. I'm a Johanna player myself, and I don't typically value those 2 talents that highly, but I guess they feel that it's the right call here, and blue team does walk away with this first Weaver phase, and they're about to pick up level 9. Nice kind of almost full level lead here.
And the blink out, not going to be enough. Going to miss the auto, but hit him with the jive and juke with the D out of Maiev. Dominator showing the experticity on this hero. And Maev's always one of those skill cap heroes, much similar to old-fashioned Zeratul before it was fully focused on that cleave build. And we see those blinds putting work in on RTB there. And with this first Web Weaver phase coming, 4 people are top, and Imperius is mid. He also doesn't have the greatest wave clear. He's actually coming top. This is a 5v4 up here as Dominator blinks in.
Dominator blinks in, but Valkyrie returning with a burrow charge, and this might be enough, and he does fall. Red team picking up their first kill of the match here. It's just what they needed during this Web Weaver phase to stay in the game. Right before level 10, it's the best thing that could happen to them, as 10s are coming online for the blue team. We do see Blessed Shield coming out from Johanna. Warden's Cage in the Maiev. Kel'Thas, is that? Oh, uh-oh. Pyroblast? Here it comes in action. Ana's getting blown out of this world, and she will fall.
Yeah, RIP to Granny as she gets absolutely cooked up there. And we already have Combustion, which basically does the job of Phoenix, but a little bit more effectively, actually. It's not single target splash, it's just this huge AoE cluster. But with Warden's Cage and Combustion is easily interrupted by the stuns of a Nubrak or the knockback of Raynor. But if he gets that off with a full charge inside of a Warden's Cage, oh baby. You know how whenever you pull pizza rolls out of the oven and you take a bite into the first one after not letting them sit for as long as they should, and now the inside of your mouth is raw and it hurts for the rest of the day? That's what the entire team is going to feel like for CCS.
One big pizza roll explosion in their face with that Warden's Cage. I do agree. And yeah, 10s are coming online for the red side here, and they do secure Web Weaver phase. Meanwhile, Maiev goes in, but it kind of evades out, and both teams opt to walk away. Red kind of waiting for their Weavers to push in. Looking at talents for the red side, we do see that Eye of Horus getting picked up. Tides of Sin from Asmo, Raynor's Raiders. Uh-oh, meanwhile, Warden's Cage does come out.
Yeah, Warden's Cage getting lots of value. They're going to keep Osprey bouncing around like a pinball machine. They're going to get the cocoon onto Maiev. Fatlock getting sniped by basically the grandma sniper, American sniper. Oh, actually the great D out from Dominator. The triple pull back, going to hit the Aegis and actually going to be almost deleted by the Web Weaver. Does make it out, and that's actually a fantastic sequence. They wasted so much time of CCSs that these Web Weavers mid and bottom have been basically free cleared, and top is the only one left. As 2 forts are down on the side of CCS, this needed to get a little bit more value than it did.
And both teams are sitting at a lot of gems here. Can pick up another Weaver phase. Meanwhile, Blaze looks to be sitting in the bottom, trying to just providing vision. Scouting for his team, holding over almost 40 gems here.
And that is a fantastic thing I would like to note about Osprey and Arcane on that Blaze. I believe it's Arcane. They've done a fantastic job warding these vents. These 2 bottom vents here, they both, as the spear doesn't quite clip through, that's a feels bad man moment. And if anyone has some bones to pick with some of these players, Osprey especially, that's a clip-worthy moment for you. But they've done a fantastic job holding vision for their teams. I wanted to absolutely point that out. The itsy bitsy spooter crept down the blue team's lane. It's going to throw a bunch of purple goopy goop all over the terrain. I don't really have any more lyrics for this song. I'm running out rapidly, so help me out here as we see this middle fort getting bombarded. It's probably going to fall without much contest here from CCS.
Yeah, I imagine Rush B's going to be looking at potentially a keep here. They do have their 13s online, getting a nice advantage. But CCS is kind of having their tanks set up to maybe flank here. No, going to be rotating down bottom, try to clear that out safely. But in a moment's notice, once they get down that wall, Maiev could be blinking in and the fight could be on. Johanna moving in, Arcane putting down some nice coverage. Oh, the combustion does come out. Blue team falling awful low. The Warden's Cage, big pull coming out. And my goodness, just like that, Kalphos 1-2, knock him down. 3-for-0 kill in favor of Rush B.
Can anyone with a keyboard here type for me in chat? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Shout out to Yitzo fans out here. That Warden's Cage with the combustion into 3 with the resets coming through Dominator. That was a fantastic fight, and with so many big bodies with Azmodan and Anubrak and Imperius, those resets are so easy to come by as the first keep drops in 10 minutes and 45 seconds. The second one looks like it's going to go down at the 11-minute mark, and Rush B is in a fantastic position here.
Meanwhile, CCS coming back in. Fatlock is now on the retreat. But she's Johanna. She's going to walk away, and they got 2 forts there from that Weir phase. And a lot of gems were lost from the side of CCS. So it's going to be pretty tricky here for them to come back in. And unfortunately, Snow's moving down. It might be an avalanche on the side of Rush B, as they're 2 gems away from their next turn-in.
Yeah, and, you know, we're talking about avalanches and snow, and it's pretty cold up here in Alaska, but right now with the Kalphos and the Blaze, it's looking like sunny 65 and great to be alive for Rush B, as they only need 2 more gems for this next turn-in, and they can easily pick that up through the mid lane. Now that they have Giants and Catapults pressuring the bottom lane, they're also going to make a Bruiser play potentially. Nope, the die didn't roll in that favor, so the Bruiser camp is going to remain untouched. And right now, they can play this game slow and steady. Really just kind of hit the switch on those hydraulics, lower that car to the ground, and just you know, cruise.
I'm posturing on the bottom lane here, trying to just backing off, going to opt for that Bruiser right now. Not much CCS can do here as far as objective goes. They don't have nearly enough. So they're just going to be trying to catch up, trying to close that level lead, as 16s are just right around the corner here. Between they do come online.
Kalphos going into the tried and true Ignite. Thank God they brought that back, because Kalphos already didn't have enough spread damage with Living Bombs. Haha, just kidding. That's talent is super annoying. But with the full Living Bomb here, with the Pyromaniac, Osprey hitting the target this time, but 14-16. This could be El Mistake, as I like to call it. Arcane showing absolutely no fear, just kind of right-clicking at core and chasing down Osprey as the Web Weavers are here. You know, Spider-Man in blue right now really paying out for Rush B. This, with a couple kills for Rush B, could honestly just be game. CCS has to be extremely careful.
Yeah, all the ults are online. We're going to see one last display of fireworks here, unless CCS can pull something out.
That's blessed out onto the Raynor, and instantly Dominator follows up with the Warden's Cage coming down. The Blaze Charge is going to come in, land onto 2. Raynor instantly alt deleted like a program with a virus, and Wit's End getting a lot of damage on the back end from the Web Weavers. Dominator blinks back in with the tether onto Valkymer. Actually, not quite yet. Flame Strike not securing the damage, but with 2 members down, damage coming out on the core. The rest of the Web Weavers aren't even here yet. And Aegis already used on the Ariel to save her life. We get the stun from Johanna onto Eye of Horus. The core falling to 60% and lower. I think this is it.
30%, it looks like it's surely it. And that's going to be it. 13 minutes of dominant performance tonight by Rush B.
Rush B rushing these games, finishing them both in, I'm pretty sure, like 15 minutes or less. That game, I don't have the time. Yeah. It's kind of bugged for me. But that was a quick game. 10 kills to 1, 2-level, 3-level advantage by the end of it. And that was fantastic play from them. You know, they didn't even need to bust out the cheese. They played macro. They played pretty standard comps from what Satat was telling us, for them at least. And it worked pretty fantastically.
Yeah, I'm still kind of curious about the Ariel pickup. So maybe that's something we'll do in the interview here. I'm not sure if that's a kind of a comfort pick for the team, if there's something else going on with the talents. But yeah, either way, Maiev getting through the draft, getting picked up, and showing why she is such a dominant hero at this level of play.
Yeah, and we see the 2-0 out there from Rush B, and they get 3 points for this game, I believe, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I think domination is 3 points, and that's going to put them, I believe, tied for first. The standings open somewhere.
That'll put them 1 point ahead of Counterpick, stupid. So
1 point ahead.
First.
How about that? I think kind of maybe somewhat of what went wrong here for CCS is not really drafting too much lane clear. The Asmo does bring a lot, but it's such a slow hero to start rolling. And Rainer's decent at lane clear, but just a little bit more of sustain. They didn't really opt for like a standard mage or really a warrior that can bring lane clear. Pairing a Nubberok and Imperious, a lot of crowd control and 2 very, very strong tanks right now, but none of them really bring any lane clear. So just kind of, it's hard to keep up with a Kalthos and a Blaze. And Johanna as well, I think can get a lot of value on that map.
Yeah, I'm talking to the captains right now to see if we can get an interview. So as far as, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out here just in case it does happen. CCS requested that they do a friendly game 3, and I didn't want to extend the acceptance of that for the cast tonight. As far as everyone for the staff is concerned, I'm not throwing that out there, but I've told them I'm willing to cast it on my personal channel for the sake that it doesn't get caught up in the VODs as well. So that could be possibly happening after this game. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the interview, but for the moment, do you want to hop into one of the lobbies in the NGS channel, and we're going to get an interview with Dominator and Greenwall, it looks like.
Sweet.
Let's hop in there. I'll see you, bud. And we have the whole crew in here. We're waiting on our fam. And once they get in here, I believe we're going to have Dominator and then Greenwall, who I believe was the support. It was the RLC. You can ask. Actually, nope. Yeah. We actually changed it out. It's going to be Arcane on the Blaze. The solo laner, that is. So they're headed on their way in. But as far as that match, that was actually pretty fantastic play. I felt like from Rush B, they busted out the cheese to an extent. And, outside of that, they played pretty fantastically. Just when they had to, kind of bring it back into the meta, so to speak, they looked fantastic. Dominator was fierce on that Maiev.
Speaking of Dominator, I feel his presence. My knees are shaking. It's quaking in here. He's joined us in this Discord lobby. Welcome, Dominator and Arcane. Congratulations, you guys.
Oh, don't give him that much credit.
He's right at the top of my head.
We're here to inflate egos. First off, congratulations on your 2-0. Not sure if you're aware or not, but I believe this vaults you into the #1 slot in the power standings there for Division C West.
Oh yes, I am well aware. And we were talking with Counterpick stupid basically the entire weekend leading up to this, telling him, hey, we're coming for that top spot.
Yeah, you guys definitely came right out for the next, and saw a lot of target bans, it seems like, from both teams. And I don't want to get into game 1 as a whole because my brain already hurts from what happened, but I have to know, is that something that you guys have practiced? It looked like you have. Or was that just kind of like a spur of the moment, like, let's rip this?
Well, we definitely practiced it a couple times before this match. And it was one of those things where we thought, you know what? We've been playing meta all season. Let's throw something wild at the wall and see if it sticks. And what better place to do it than at the big live Tuesday night show?
Yeah, it was... I saw the draft coming through, and the moment I saw the Tyrael and the Morales, I basically took my socks off and I threw them out the window of my apartment, and I was just like, all bets are off. This thing's about to get butt wild. And you guys, basically just kind of played Ring Around the Rosie, and once level 10 came on, you just flipped the switch and you did Juice Pirates things. And unfortunately for CCS, they didn't quite have the response for it. They raced you guys in the top lane. And what were comms like at that point when they decided to race you top versus bottom? What were you guys thinking?
Well, to be honest, we had a lot of yelling, just a lot of make sure we're pushing straight onto core, ignore the boring stuff like towers, and just let the minions deal with it and race them. That was something that last season we actually had Juice Pirates pulled out on us on Volskaya, and we had the same issue in deciding whether we were going to push with the protector or come back and defend, and we made the wrong decision. And so it was something that we were looking forwards to pulling out, especially on this map.
Yeah, I think when you lose, or sometimes when you make mistakes, that's like the greatest opportunity of learning, and especially with tricks like that, being able to bust them out in the future, then having it pay off, definitely it's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels a little dirty, not gonna lie, but still, we were just so ecstatic when we won it and we actually pulled it off. It was like, did we just do that? Yeah, we just did.
And we actually have, unfortunately for you guys, one of our top-notch analysts. We had Satat here, and after that map, after we saw that race that ultimately led to the demise of CCS in that first game, we talked about kind of the way to counter that Juice Pirates strat, and Satat dumped a lot of knowledge. So if you guys are looking to Juice Pirate somebody in the future, they might have, they might have that ace up the sleeve on y'all. So you better start having like a plan number A, B, C, and D, which are also letters actually. So you might want to have those ready if your Juice Pirates gets Juice Pirated.
Well, I don't think we're looking at pulling it out in the near future, at least.
I'm just waiting for the day when we pull it out, and then they pull out some other crazy split push comp, and they'll just race core. We won't even fight. No kills. 0-0.
That happened in our last Division S series that I casted, so please don't do that. That game was fun, but it was also very hard to commentate. And moving on to game number 2, because I don't want to get hankered up too much on the cheese. Satat mentioned a quote that I would like to go by. This might be the most meta I've seen from Rush B. You guys played, according to your game 1 comp, something that looked pretty standard with Maev and Kael'thas, but I believe Mark brought up a very interesting question about the Ariel pick.
Yeah, so basically, I don't have too much experience with your team here, but is there something kind of some hidden synergies going on, or is that just a comfort pick that you guys like to run, or something perhaps for the Crystal Aegis to keep Maev going? What's up with the Ariel?
I would say it's a little bit of both. We definitely took a look at our hero pool, preseason, and we kind of looked at what we had and what the meta was, and any sort of overlap we had there. And we kind of capitalized on those comfort picks. So we saw Ariel being really strong coming into the season. We said, okay, let's practice this. Let's try to work on synergies here, combos, and it's come a long way from where we were like 2 months ago, and it's only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, I do think this meta is kind of leaning towards like a very dive heavy, with tanks like a Navarrak doing very well, and Imperius as well, and then also Maev being a pretty dominant force. So having that pushback on the support can be quite nice to combat that dive.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely it's nice to have those kind of CCs to prevent the dive from coming in, and it just gives us a little bit of delay to run through their cooldowns and then move in once they're all up.
Very nice.
And yeah, those games were pretty fantastic. After the first game, I wasn't sure what to expect, but you guys definitely displayed a lot of, I guess, adaptability. You showed that you can meme, but you can also play straight up, and that's a lot of things. If you see a team that bases their play off memeing or cheesing, then sometimes they're a little bit weaker in that sense. But you guys played very well, and I wanted to compliment that. A huge shout out, Arcane. I definitely spoke about you warding those vents down there, as long with Osprey. You guys did a fantastic job. Vision control is something that a lot of people don't fully understand and appreciate, and I think that when it gets highlighted as effectively as it was tonight, I think a lot of people can take that as kind of a learning experience, and you guys kind of really set a good bar there.
Yeah, I saw my job in that match on Blaze is just to annoy the Imperious. I know that if I try to move in on him, he's going to burn the Impure and just shred through me. So I just kind of have to just sit back, not let him auto attack me, and just annoy him and don't let him get the turn in. He was doing the same thing right back to me though. So
Yeah, all in all, I have to say, can't counterpick stupid. They did play really well. The first game, really heavy dive, and I think if they had brought that same sort of aggression into the second match, I think we would have seen a different game. I think we just kind of caught them on the back foot there, and they were playing a little bit more reserved. But honestly, I still think they played pretty.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things that I pointed to in the drafts is after you get cheesed once, your brain is now on like this crazy hyper defense mode, and you start seeing shadows and the boogeyman and everything like that. So it definitely can throw a team for a loop. And I wanted to bring that to light for people in their own games. Whenever you do get memed or you get rush bead, then you gotta really kind of tighten the screws on that helmet, and you gotta just suit up and treat it like it's any other game. But I wanted to thank you guys for coming in for the interview. The floor is yours for shout outs. Let everybody know who you are, where to find you, how to support you, and just let everybody know what's good.
Well, shout outs first and foremost to friends and family. I know a lot of them are watching right now, so thanks for tuning in. Anything you can do to support us, honestly, just come and watch any of our matches that are streamed. Unfortunately, I think this is only the second one that's been casted this season, but hopefully after tonight we'll get a lot more.
yeah, I just want to shout out to T Lane. I know he's been in the chat, one of our other members, and also to IDK Shrubs who couldn't make it tonight because of work. But I know that he'll watch back on the VOD and is there for us. He's been at all the practices and everything. So it's just want to say thanks to CCS for giving us a great game, and hopefully the great game 3 they're talking about doing another one.
So it looked like they're actually. I was talking to Valcomer about it. They look like a couple other people have already logged, so I don't think we're gonna be able to rip that tonight.
All right.
Which is unfortunate. I was gonna cast it from my personal channel, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get a hold of that.
And thanks to you guys for casting this. It's always a pleasure seeing you guys put on this, big show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday now, right?
Yep, those are the nights.
Yeah, it's great watching them, and it's great to be a part of it. So thank you for casting and doing all the stats and everything for us.
Absolutely, it was our pleasure as a group and a family here at NGS. We're here for you as the players. Somebody needs to clip that so I can use that as my PR representation. Meanwhile, I'm going to say heinous stuff during the game. So
yeah,
make sure.
Just a great opportunity right here to mention that NGS does have a Patreon set up. So if you guys are looking to, if you got a little bit of extra cash kicking around that you can throw in a couple bucks, whatever you feel comfortable supporting, NGS would greatly appreciate that. It's only going to help us grow over here.
And with that, I'm actually going to pass it on to you, Mark. This is your time for some shout outs. Let the people know where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, and, what you like to do in your spare time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm Mark Zombie of twitch.tv/Mark Zombie. I stream Heroes of the Storm, by the way. I also play in NGS myself, all the way down there in Division D East in the Nexus Cats. We're looking pretty good right now in the standings. So yeah, shout outs to my team, I guess. The Nexus Cats, they're pretty awesome. Arthana and Turd Herder do some volunteering and some production here for NGS. So thank you guys. Yeah, shout outs to my brother's team. He's also playing this season at NGS. Is his first season here. Excel Esports. And then yeah, my spare time, I love to play some good old board games, some good old tabletop gaming.
Absolutely. That's what I love to hear. You're a wholesome lad, and we appreciate having you. I want to turn it now over to our analyst and our observer for tonight. We had Satat and Falindra. I want to give the floor to you guys. Shout out. I know Falindra's been streaming that new Final Fantasy 14, even though it confuses the ever-living crap out of me. Let the people know where they can find you two guys at.
So I'm at Satat_HOTS. I stream HOTS, and I actually teach history during HOTS, so you get some fun interactiveness, and I give lots of tips and tricks about Div S strats and stuff in my streams. That's why Div S people get mad at me. So just come and see those if you want to see some high-level strats. And shout out to the players for being here and putting on a good game. I've definitely enjoyed the Use Pirates and the other stuff. That was really awesome and fun to see. So I'm glad to be here and glad to provide insight.
Cool. Yeah. And yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/ follow and drip. As Beecher said, I actually mostly stream Final Fantasy 14 these days. But I also want to quickly mention that Stats to the Storm 260 is now out, and it includes the new role we work. So if you've been noticing that the stats have been a little funky and the roles don't match, I have fixed that as of like a couple hours ago. So go check that out.
Awesome.
And for me, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm B-Train, chewing up in here with another showdown matchup with a lot of spicy drafts, lots of memenicity, and cheesy stuff. So you guys can find me at Twitch TV, B-Train704, right below. Chen Resident God, actually, it's been banned against me twice this season. I'm keeping count. Also, you can go on my eBay, Facebook, MySpace, Tumblr, Twitter, Tinder, Grindr, Bumper, and also farmersonly.com. Look for me there. I'm a really social, personable guy. And if you're looking to buy a trampoline from my eBay, shipping from Alaska is extremely expensive. So just beware. That's on you, not me. That is going to do it for tonight's cast of the Tuesday Night Showdown. I will be ripping it shortly hereafter. So if you guys want to come check out some top-notch Chen plays, head on over. But as Mark said, there is an NGS Patreon. And please feel free to check that out in your time. Thank you all for showing up. I'm going to roll this outro video, and we will see everybody next time here in the Nexus.